Marquette. Here. Bruce.
Here.
Keeben.
Here.
Reynolds.
Here. Can we have a motion to approve the minutes for the June 27th regular council meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes from June the 27th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're going to amend the agenda and add an executive session to discuss real estate at 4A, and we're going to add the Finance Committee minutes.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting the agenda as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I need a motion to go into
Motion
executive-
to go into executive session to discuss real estate.
All those in favor of going into executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Has been, lateral hire has been hired as of 6/30/22. We discussed the railroad crossing blockage. Mr. Mayor and Mr. Kistler spoke with CSX, and they've instructed their operators to cut the trains if the road will be blocked for an extended period of time. We discussed active shooter training and new bulletproof shields. There'll be a training at the schools to be scheduled in August of this year. Chief Kistler requested the purchase of 5 shields, 2 to go in each school and 1 for each vehicle. Mr. Oberdorf and myself both voted aye to purchase those shields. Fixed cameras. Chief Kistler is recommending RPD lease fixed cameras that read license plates as they enter, exit, or travel through certain areas of the city of Rossford. These cameras assist in solving crimes. Currently, Perrysburg Township, Bowling Green, and Toledo utilize this technology. Cameras are $100 per camera a month for a 5-year lease. Chief Kistler would like this to be in the budget for 2023. Outdoor security cameras. Chief Kistler is currently in the process of gathering quotes for city parks and city buildings. Bicycle patrol is going well, and possibly we'll look at expanding the program in the future.
Any questions?
I just have one. By chance did the railroad say what an extended period of time was?
Chief?
Extended period of time for which?
Railroad crossing?
The railroad crossing.
They define it.
No, their in-house rule is 10 minutes. But I can tell you, they haven't been cutting the trains. I got that from Columbus, and he said anyone that doesn't do it will have to look for another job. If they don't want to do it, but they're still not, from what I've seen, they're still not cutting the train. The problem is that if they cut the train, it takes them another half hour after the blockage is open to do all the safety checks on the whole train before they can move it again. But if it's a 6-8 hour blockage, I'd rather have, the crossing open during that time. You have to wait 30 minutes. 30 minutes is way less than 6 hours. So, but they're still not compliant. And the guy won't return my phone calls now. So.
Did we have any trouble getting emergency equipment out to the crossroads because of the blockage?
Not that I am aware of,
No?
no.
You just have to go. It's an extra. there's no minutes to go around.
Did Columbus say what to do if they're not responding?
Columbus isn't responding.
Oh, Columbus.
The guy that told me that won't return my calls now.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know.
Wow. Okay, well, I guess keep us posted on that.
And he suggests that we apply for the like $1 billion that's available through the federal government to bypass the crossing with overpass.
Really? Okay. That,
Sorry.
yes, go ahead.
I would think that, I think we have a safety committee scheduled for next week, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully we can maybe discuss it in a little more detail,
Yeah,
see what to do moving forward.
yep, it's good. Any other questions? Facilities, Parks, and Marina.
We met Thursday, June 30th. In attendance were myself, Mr. Toth, Mr. Audette, Mr. Kolb, and Mrs. Murray. Audette discussed the status of Eagle Point School. Removal of residuals will take place first beginning sometime around the second week of July, followed by the demolition, which should be completed by September. Mr. Audette has coordinated an effort to put bricks from the demolition in a safe, secured area in the parking lot of the annex for citizens to take as mementos of Eagle Point School. He also secured a price of $250 per hour to have the contractor attempt to remove the insignia above the entryway for use in another public park or public area in town. The Colony Association was interested in the letters spelling Eagle Point for use in the colony, and they were given the contractor's information so they may contact them about the removal. That cannot be done with public funds since they will not be relocated to a public area. Councilman Marquette told the committee he had checked out the Eagle Point School property and would like to see homeowners on the Ricker Court side of the building be given the option to purchase 12 to 15 feet of extra property to enhance their current properties. The committee then discussed possible uses for the property once the buildings were demolished. There was a discussion on a possible splash pad water feature, and Ms. Murray will be seeking renderings of possible placements on the Eagle Point property once the school is down. Ms. Murray gave an update on the purchase of Dog's Ice Cream parking lot and the improvements the city will be making to the parking lot once it is in its ownership. She also discussed property split and purchase of the back portion of 313 Beach Street for use as an addition to the city's Beach Street Park property. Both of these purchases and property splits are being handled by Splitter Huffman Law Firm since HML has a conflict. Mr. Marquette asked if we were still looking at connecting Beach Street Park to the pickleball courts next to the post office via a trail and small bridge over the creek. Ms. Murray replied, yes, we would be looking into a Nature Works grant for the purpose with more information to come later in the summer. Mr. Audette spoke about the status of the Recreation Center exterior installation and finishing system, EFIS project, and that we have it under design and will soon be bidding out the repair project. Todd also updated the committee on the status of Vets Park concession and stand restroom shower facility. It is under design and will be out for bid in the next few weeks with completion by 12/31/2022. He has been working with Tyler and his crew, Kevin Laughlin, Wood County Stormwater Engineer, and Paul Winters from EAS on locating the concession stand facility in an area central to all the park, ball field, and marina activities where we can avoid the floodplain. We will also be following the recommendation of Mr. Roos and will be taking the old restrooms on the hill down in conjunction with the concession facility project. Mr. Kolb asked the group to consider an appropriation allowing his crew to purchase the material to begin rebuilding and replacing the docks on the east side of C dock and both sides of the B dock when they remove the docks in the fall. This way they will would work on them in the winter months so they could have them ready to go in the spring. Mr. Audette added that we would be removing the kayak launch for the winter sometime in early November. The committee meeting adjourned at 3:55.
We talked about, well, that was one of the comments I had at the committee of the whole about the Eagle Point property was also to allow the Rinker Court people to purchase a strip of land to make their yards a little bit bigger and not so crowded. So I think that's a good idea. Any other questions or comments? Nope. Okay. Finance Committee?
Finance and Insurance Committee met June 24th. All members were present, myself, Mr. Marquette, Mr. Heben, along with Allison and Kelly. We discussed the May 22 financial information, including income tax, revenue expenditures in comparison to 2021. Currently, we're up just about $925,000 on our income tax from 2021. We did have to pay the school tax for Indian Hills, but now all the exemptions are filed. The expense for Rita was just under or right around 1% for them collecting the city's income tax, which is a great number. We had a clean audit, thanks to Kelly and Company. It's taken a lot of effort to get us there. American Tower, we discussed this at the last council meeting, submitted some options for the lease renewal of the cell tower site off of Wales. Allison and the administration is recommending we stay with the current lease arrangements. As just noted in facilities, we'll be advertising soon for the Vets Park concession restroom. And two ordinances that were discussed at the last council meeting, 33 and 34, transfer funds to purchase the parking lot and improve it, in an appropriation ordinance for the parking lot, street and construction project, additional dollars, and stormwater dollars for that project.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, introduction, reports of the mayor and the administrator. The mayor's not here, so I don't have a report. Allison?
Just very quickly, the work on the Crossroads roundabout began last week. So if you haven't been out there, there is a detour, and it's working quite nicely. So I've done it just about every day, several times. So it's working quite nicely so far. And the remediation of Eagle Point School is underway, and the demolition will begin in a few weeks. That's all I have. Thank you.
I'm just curious. Todd, have you been in there?
Can't go in there right now because they're doing the removal.
Just wondered how gross it is, because it was bad last fall, and then it was locked.
Actually, Tyler and his crew helped us remove a bunch of items that were in there, making it easier for the residual removal. So it's just really not that bad.
Okay, good to know. Any other questions? Mr. Wattrell, correspondence.
I have two pieces of correspondence. The first is a memo from Chief Kitzler to Officer Demansky. Dispatch received a call from a person that you had contact with during a traffic stop on July 2nd, 2022. Driver wanted to express his appreciation for the manner in which you handled yourself during the contact. He described the experience as a very pleasant and a big difference from what he is used to. It's not often that we receive compliments from the motoring public. Your efforts in this case go a long way in maintaining our trust and legitimacy within the community. Your professionalism does not go unnoticed, and it is an example for all of our officers to follow. Keep up the outstanding work. Second one is a memo to Officer Trey Farabee from Chief Kitzler, dated July 5th. During the early morning hours of July 4th, 2022, you were dispatched to a call of an elderly man with dementia that had wandered away from his apartment. You met with this man's distraught wife and were able to find the gentleman a short time later and return him safely to his residence. The compassion and professionalism you displayed during this call was unmatched, reflects the mission and core values of our department. Keep up the great work. And then finally, I gave all of you on council a copy of the letter from Northwest Water and Sewer District concerning board seat nominations for their board, and a copy of the packet if you know of anyone that wants to apply.
Any questions? All right, introduction of ordinances. Can we have a motion to read ordinance 2022-31 by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2022-31 is an ordinance authorizing the administration to enter into a lease for certain real property owned by the city of Rossford and declaring an emergency. This is the second reading.
Second. This went through finance, as Robert said. The recommendation from the administration was to vote this down, as our current agreement with them goes to 2044,
Yes.
I believe. So I'm going to agree with that. I'll make a motion to suspend the third reading.
Any audience comments about this ordinance only? Nope.
All those in favor of suspending with the third reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Vote on the motion to adopt. Heben.
No.
Reynolds.
No.
Toth. No. Oberdorf.
No.
Eckel.
No.
Marquette.
No.
Roos.
No.
Do we have a motion to read ordinance 2022-36 by title only?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2022-36 is an ordinance opting out of House Bill 172 and reaffirming the ban on discharging, igniting, or exploding fireworks in the city of Rossford and declaring an emergency. This is a first reading.
So the intention of Public Works was to put this on the agenda so we can start some discussion on,
Safety.
right, sorry, public safety. Put this on the agenda to start some discussion here at council. And Chief Druard's here, so can you explain to us what kind of fireworks they want to make legal during certain times?
Firecrackers, Roman candles, I can't remember all what's included in 1.3, 1.4 consumer grade fireworks, but it's stuff like that.
Fireworks, firecrackers, bottle rockets, Roman candles, and fountains.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone have any, go ahead, Mr. Heben.
Just after review, and please, Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, the new Ohio code is only for certain dates, such as July 4th, New Year's Eve.
June 19th.
Yeah.
July 5th.
Chinese New Year, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day.
Which wasn't what I thought at the beginning. At the beginning, I was under the impression it was just you could light them off on the weekends or whenever you wanted, which isn't, to my understanding, isn't what it is. I'm leaning towards going with the Ohio revised, the new code. That's just my opinion.
Any concerns, Chief Kitzler? Chief Druard?
Let it run 3 readings.
Yeah, I think we let it go to take some input from the citizens of Rossford, both human and canine.
Canine especially.
Yeah. All right, first reading. Do we have a motion to read ordinance 2022-37 by title only?
So moved.
Second?
Those in favor of reading 2022-37 by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2022-37 is an ordinance accepting a Transportation Improvement District TID grant and declaring an emergency.
This was $500,000 that Todd worked very hard to get, so we would like to be able to accept it. You guys approved us to put in to submit the grant, but there was not the clause that said that we could accept the money. So next time I'll make sure that that clause is in when we submit it. So that's what this is for.
For which project?
Do you want to explain it to me?
It's a planning, preliminary engineering for the innovation commerce area and tie it into the crossroads to all the MoDOT's projects.
First reading, or do we want to have this passed tonight?
I think Todd probably wants to spend that money.
I'll make a motion to suspend the second and third reading.
Second.
Audience.
Oh, do we have any audience questions or comments about this ordinance only? Nope.
Okay, all those in favor of suspending with the second and third reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move to declare 2022-37 an emergency.
Second.
All those in favor of declaring an emergency, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to adopt 2022-37.
Second.
Vote on the motion to adopt. Heben.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Toth.
Aye.
Oberdorf.
Aye.
Eckel.
Aye.
Marquette.
Aye.
Roos.
Aye.
Do we have a motion to read 2022-38 by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2022-38 is an ordinance authorizing the administration to take the necessary steps to purchase a certain parcel of real estate.
I think we want to, go ahead, Mr.
I was just going to say, move to suspend the second and third readings of ordinance 2022-38.
Second.
Is there any audience comments or questions regarding this ordinance? The piece of property is,
I asked her to put the map there.
oh, right here. Right there.
Does he own both those buildings?
And this is Superior Street. This is HML.
So
It
it's
shows the
across
building
from
there,
the
but the
Ford
building has
Memorial.
come down
So you
since.
can't do that and a property like that?
Right across from Edward Ford, yes.
Any questions or comments? Nope.
All those in favor of suspending with the second and third reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move to declare 2022-38 emergency.
Second.
All those in favor of declaring an emergency, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move for adoption of ordinance 2022-38.
Second.
Vote on the motion to adopt. Roos.
Aye.
Heben.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Toth.
Aye.
Oberdorf.
Aye.
Eckel.
Aye.
Marquette.
Aye.
Introduction of resolutions. Resolution 2022-16. Do we have a motion to read by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? 2022-16 is a resolution authorizing the city of Rossford to use new guidelines for indoor air quality as IAQ as it pertains to city projects and declaring an emergency. This is the second reading.
So we talked about this in Public Works, and it was decided to table the resolution until we possibly want to have this work done, so that we don't have to, yeah. So that was the suggestion.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
And that's to postpone it table it indefinitely then. Okay, vote on the motion to table Resolution 2022-16 indefinitely. Reynolds.
Aye.
Heben.
Aye.
Roos.
Aye.
Marquette.
Aye.
Eckel.
Aye.
Oberdorf.
Aye.
Toth.
Aye.
Okay, council remarks. Mr. Toth.
I've got nothing.
Mr. Oberdorf.
I was pretty bucked up last week, but I'd like to thank everybody for the nice things they did for my wife, the bench, and $500 to the beautification committee, and it's a very nice gesture. Thank you.
Mr. Marquette.
All set, thank you.
Mr. Roos.
Nothing.
Mr. Heben.
Nothing, Ms. Eckel.
Ms. Reynolds.
Happy birthday to Mr. Toth. That's all I've got.
Yes.
2 days late.
You guys are late. Elated.
All right, audience remarks. Come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Larry, excuse me, Larry Linkis, 512 Indian Valley Court, Rossford. My wife and I were here a few meetings ago about the paving that wasn't done on East Elm Tree that enters Indian Ridge. And after we talked, Mayor McKinnon said he would get back to us in 2 weeks. I don't remember his name, a gentleman from the city, and they said they would check. We originally contacted Ms. Reynolds, and she told us, was the one who asked us to write the letter to come down here. My wife went to her coffee get-together a week or so ago and heard nothing there. So anyway, we haven't heard anything. So I just have, that it is what it is. But just a request that if some of you from council could do, Mr. Oberdorf would be very easy for you to do if you were so inclined. But I would like you to go down Lime City Road, turn left onto Schreier, and left on the Indian Ridge Trail. Now, when you pull in there, you're going to see perfectly smooth roads, you're going to see sidewalks, you're going to see curbs, and you're going to see nice houses, and you're going to think, wow, this is a really nice neighborhood. Follow Indian Ridge Trail through, you're going to make a couple turns, it dead ends into Glenwood Road, right by Eagle Point School, Indian Hill School. Again, notice you're on wide roads, you have sidewalks, you have curbs, you have room to pass by another car. Turn right onto Glenwood Road, go to East Elm Tree. That's where you'll see these two poles sticking up, which I assume is what the city worked on when they were they stopped paving the road a half a block from Glenwood because they didn't want to pave it when they were still working on that, but they never came back to pave it. Turn onto that. Now you're onto a bumpy road. Hasn't been paved in forever. The apartment complex on the right, that's fine. On the left, there's a house that has a lot of people live there. They all park on the street. Sometimes there'll be one car, sometimes there'll be 3 or 4 cars. The road is narrower at that point. 2 cars cannot pass. So you have to drive around the cars. If somebody's coming, then you got to say who's going to stop, who's not. You don't get a good impression of the neighborhood. You don't know what you're going to run into until half a block up. Then you get to Indian Valley, very nice street, nice homes. Miss Sloan lives there, Murphy's live there, and we have to drive that every day. I just want you to see it and let me know if I'm crazy or not.
Carolyn, can I address that?
Go ahead,
After
Allison.
he was in at the last meeting, Todd and Tyler and I went out there and walked that street. We were out there for several hours, I think. And Todd actually has a proposal now for the work that needs to be done.
We just received it on Friday, so that's why I couldn't give you an update, because we're.
Yeah, well, you didn't specifically say a time. You said you would check.
Yep. And
It was just Mayor McKinnon, and I was hoping Ms. Reynolds, because we were so excited when she was running for council. We did a lot, telling
And your
people.
wife never brought that up at the coffee conversation, though.
She probably shouldn't have had to.
Oh, okay. All
But
right,
is-
if you feel
is
that
it-
way.
Is the,
in all likeliness, once we get consultant on, it'll go next spring.
that's what I was going to ask.
Very good, thank you. I would be super.
Awesome.
That's not a good speech.
And you're right, it is terrible. You know, I've driven, my son has a friend who lives back in there, so.
Okay, I mean, that begs the question why, I mean, I don't know how many years ago it was that they paid, but it took this long, and anyway, I guess it is what it is. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Caroline.
Just table.